So there's an article. Some of it's from Bloomberg, some other sources. And I remember, matter of fact, I'm going to pause this real quick and see if I can find the clip. I think it was a 60 Minutes interview, and they asked this guy who was a high-ranking U.S. official, and they talked about the Patriot Act, and they said, how did that pass so fast? And, oh, well, we already had it written. What do you mean you already had it written? Before the event? Yeah, we always have legislation like that on standby in case the absolute worst case scenario happens and we need to get something done fast. So you already had it pre 9/11? Yes, we did. That's why it passed so fast. Okay. She says, is it safe to say you have something on maybe cybersecurity? Absolutely. And that's what this little story I'm about to read you is about. Because I think we might be getting a little close to some supposed event happening in which they need to enact some kind of Patriot Act for cyber security, i.e. the internet lockdown. I want to quickly see if I can find that piece of the interview, though. So stand by just a second. Well, I cannot seem to find it. Everything that's coming up is like 2016. If anybody knows where that video link is, I think it was 60 Minutes. And it wasn't anybody that you might recognize giving the interview, but it was someone like a high-level State Department, whatever. Some of you may know exactly what I'm talking about. If you find that and you happen to see it on YouTube, come here, comment with that link. And then everybody else, if you see that link, give that person's comment a thumbs up so it has a whole bunch of thumbs up so that it can go to the top for everybody to see. I know what I saw for sure. I remember that very clearly. So all of a sudden, this is a very, very extremely recent article, U.S. grid in imminent danger from cyber attacks, study says. Oh, really? The U.S. Energy Department says the electricity system faces imminent danger from cyber attacks, which are growing more frequently and sophisticated, but grid operators say they are already on top of the problem. In the department's landmark quadrennial energy review, it warned that a widespread power outage caused by a cyber attack could undermine critical defense infrastructure, as well as much of the economy, and place at risk the health and safety of millions of citizens. The report comes amid increased concerns over cybersecurity risks as U.S. intelligence agency says Russian hacking was aimed at influencing the 2016 presidential election. I've said it a million times. There will be no budget cuts for the defense/military industrial complex. I wrote myself a little note for when I do this video. So what this means is that we will need a huge amount of tax dollars to fix an issue, cyber threat, that isn't, or cyber attack, that isn't an issue yet. More money for the defense/military industrial complex, which also means what? A false flag attack, which takes down the internet and or power grid somewhere, might just take place so that we can spend even more money, which also means a Patriot Act, so-called, for the internet will be passed, as I explained in just a minute ago. One that is already written and on standby, just like 9/11/2001. It was already written, just waiting for the right event. That was my note to myself. They will talk about this, and then you'll hear it a little bit more, and you'll hear it a little bit more. And then when you start to notice that trend, and I'm starting to notice that trend, makes you wonder, is it about to happen? They're about to take the grid down. Because what happens then? You could blame the economy collapsing, Wall Street collapsing. You can blame it all on the Ruskies. The Ruskies did it. The Syrians did it. The Free Syrian Rebel Army did it. The Iranians did it. Whoever you need. Whoever's pissing you off, we need to go over there and take their resources. That's who did it. That's who did it. And you'll have the so-called intelligence experts. They'll be on Fox News. They'll be on CNN. Right as it happened, you're going to scratch your head if you're awake and thinking. You will scratch your head and say, how did that guy get on CNN so fast when this event just happened a few hours ago? Oh, they flew him in from California, got off at the airport. They took him down to be on the CNN news station in the studio for 20 minutes of his time. And he's to get back on the plane and go back to California, where he lives. No, he's already there waiting. Oh, when am I on, guys? No, another 20 more minutes. No, we can't have you here too quick. Come on down. I've seen that happen before. Event happens, and then these experts, former Department of Homeland Security special such and such agent, former FBI or CIA analyst, and you guys had access to them to have them get on your show that fast? I don't think so. Scared you, kitty? All right. Where was it? Cyber threats to the electricity system are increasing in sophistication, magnitude, and frequency, it said in the 494-page report. The current cybersecurity landscape is characterized by rapidly evolving threats and vulnerabilities juxtaposed against the slower-moving deployment of defense measures. So what's going to have to happen? We need to be attacked. Our quote-unquote defense sucked. We had so-and-so, the Quadrennial Energy Review, give us this. We gave it to you, Congress members. You didn't do anything about it. Now Wall Street's down, the internet's down. We're scrambling to get the grid back up in this area. Of course, it'll be the East Coast, New York, Wall Street. Get that out. And now we have to do something rapidly. And they're going to say, rapidly, huh? We just so happen, Mr. and Mrs. Congressmen and women, to have some legislation you need to pass urgently. And it's always legislation that strips away more and more of your rights and freedoms and gives the government more and more control. Just like they wanted, but they would, like always, they never can pass a bill like that when things are fine. You have to be in panic mode, fear, hurry up, we got to do this. Okay, we'll sign it. And then you just signed your life away, or they, Congress critters, signed your life away in the new bill. One that was already written and on standby, just waiting for the right event. The department detailed 76 recommendations to boost energy, including increasing the collection of data about online breaches from utilities. Separately, it called for extending tax credits to boost construction of new nuclear reactors. Oh, does the club own the nuclear energy industry? Yes, they do. Why, yes, they do. Is the club part of the military/defense and industrial complex? Well, why, yes, they are. Okay. And I wonder how much they're asking for. Let's keep going. Separately, it called for extending tax credits to boost construction of nuclear reactors. Who's going to get the tax cuts? Me and you? No. The nuclear industry. Okay. Overall, the report said total investment requirements necessary for grid modernization and well, let me say it, range from $350 billion to $500 billion, or half a trillion. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to think, super hard. Remember when you were in school? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put on your thinking caps. Everyone got their thinking caps on? Oh, let me put mine on. Oh, okay. Got my thinking cap on. Has the government ever given you a number that it was supposed to cost? And it was massively far out of outer space. It was way higher. Has that ever happened? You're probably saying, pretty much every time. Correct. You win the grand prize. To modernize the grid can cost up to $500 billion. You would need a president that's ready to dump $1 trillion or more dollars into rebuilding the infrastructure. Wait a minute. We do have a president that'll be stepping in office in just a few days or a week or two. that has already said he'd like to spend some serious money on infrastructure projects. Well, no kidding. And this article just comes out a couple of days ago? No kidding. What a timely report this is. Perfect timing. The risks to the electric sector were highlighted within the past week as suspicious internet traffic was found. Remember this one? On a laptop at a Vermont electric utility. While the laptop wasn't connected to the grid, the Burlington Electric Department alerted federal authorities of the risk. I'm quite certain there are rules and regulations within every single power utility in the face, I was going to say face of the earth, probably, but definitely on the face of the United States, that says you cannot hook this up to the internet, so to speak, nor can you bring anything in this facility and take it, thumb drives, etc., put your computer, laptop on the local wireless inside. No, it's against policy. Which is why they had to bring a laptop, who never said whose laptop it was or why it was there and how they even knew to look at that. What prompted you to even look at the laptop to even suspect that there was something on there that just so happened to be able to attack the grid? Because last I heard, it was just a random malware, or not random, as a known malware, had nothing to do with the grid. That's like me taking one of my, get my kid's computer or something and taking it into work with me one day and being completely surprised and having to call the federal authorities because this thing has some malware. Sir, were your kids using it? Yes, they are. They probably clicked on something they shouldn't have. Yeah, most likely. And you brought that computer in today for what reason? Because I need some propaganda to push the military-industrial projects that they have going on. Oh, well, okay, in that case, come on over here. Let's have a little chat. Modified or new grid reliability requirements and increased data collection on cyber attacks will be needed to address the cyber risks, it said. While there haven't been major attacks in the U.S., the Department review noted that a 2015 attack on the Ukrainian grid caused widespread power outages, and that, quote, should be seen as an indicator of what is possible, it said. The report also called for a new Energy Department assessment of cybersecurity for natural gas pipelines. Regional wholesale grid operators, including PJM Interconnection LLC, said they have implemented security measures, such as having redundant facilities to counter cyber threats. Quote, we are continually working to improve our security as cybersecurity threats evolve, said Marcia Blomberg, spokeswoman for ISO New England, Inc. We monitor system conditions continuously, and we share information as needed with regulatory and industry bodies. So, and bottom line, they want, as I said, we need at the most $500 billion to fix up the electric grid and keep it from getting cyber attacked. I got news for you, anybody out there who's willing to listen. You could have 20 trillion, good number since our debt is 20 trillion. You could have $20 trillion in the new improved cyber-proof, attack-proof security grid, internet grid, everything grid. Was it created by man? Yes, it was. Is it software and electronics hardware? Yes, it is. It's hackable. Everything is hackable, one way or the other. And then what happens when something finally happens? Incompetent, government incompetent, we were incompetent, we didn't know, the warning signs weren't there. Yes, they were. Here's 1,400 warning signs you guys didn't look at. For example, the shooter in Fort Lauderdale, the guy turned himself in. Before he even did this stuff, he was talking to the FBI. The CIA is planting visions and things in my head and speaking to me. They want me to watch ISIS videos. They want me to... You have a gun? Yes. It was taken, given back to him. You're clear. Have a nice day. When someone tells you, I have vision, I'm being told to watch ISIS videos from thoughts and voices in my head, and it's the CIA, is what he said. Is that not a tiny red flag? Look, not a big one, Not even a big one. Just a little baby red flag. You know, the real red flag had a baby and the baby had a baby. That little mini one, red flag. Like it's not even red. It's kind of amber because it's not full grown yet. You know what I mean? It's fine. Give him his gun back. It's cool. You can have it. And it just so happened to be that late December, they were getting ready to pass or try to pass a bill allowing people to open carry and carry in airports, in colleges, etc., schools where you're not normally supposed to, because the people, or at least the senator or whatever that wanted this to go through in Florida, knows these are all gun-free zones each and every time. Gun-free zones, school shootings, airport gun-free zones. We need to have guns in the zones. Oh, good. It was getting ready to go into, I guess, put up to see if it'll pass. I think today's the 10th. You're going to see this on the 10th. Maybe today. I don't know if it's still on schedule. And one of the things that said in there was airports. And then we have an airport shooter. What are and where? What state was going to do that with the open carry? Oh, Florida. Where was that shooting? Oh, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In an airport. Oh my gosh. Maybe he was hearing things in his head. Maybe he was mind controlled by the CIA. The chances of that being a random incident coupled with this legislation getting ready to potentially be passed in a matter of days of each other, you have a better chance of flying 1,500 light years away and making it alive. Okay? Take care.